One of the reasons that this is so helpful is it kind of almost becomes like an outline for your copy, especially if you're doing a multi-part email series or a long-form sales letter. It really helps organize your thoughts in kind of that logical way. You know, that's one of the areas where so many people get stuck with copy, is they don't know where they're trying to get to. So as they write, they run out of ideas. Or the reverse, or not the reverse, but another thing that often happens is it's all kind of disjointed, where like here's an idea and then here's another idea and then here's a third idea, and they're all kind of related to the product, but they aren't related to each other. So it just kind of feels jarring when you jump around like that. It's like, oh wait, what happened to this thing? This wasn't resolved yet. So kind of working through those chain of beliefs, or those rungs on that belief ladder, can really help organize those thoughts. And then from there, what you want to do is consider and look at a theme and a narrative arc that can go across that entire sales letter or across that entire email series, where the soap opera part of it and that story part of it that people kind of like get twisted is where all this comes in, right? So when you think of a soap opera, you think of all these different storylines that are opening and closing throughout an entire season of it, right? And that's how you have to think of this long form sales letter or this email series as a whole entire season. And each email in there, or each kind of part of that sales letter, is an individual episode. It's its own little story that adds up to the season, right? So you have to kind of take the systems thinking approach to your writing, and think about how each of these little parts make into that greater whole, right? And that's where that belief ladder comes in. Each of those stories, each of those individual emails tackle one of those different beliefs, right? So you write or share a story about how a client was doing organic whatever, Facebook, social media, blog posts, stuff like that. And they were getting some traffic, and then some big change happened with the algorithm or whatever, and everything plummeted, and all their leads dried up, right? And then you showed them paid advertising. Stories like that, you know. Tell another story about how someone was using Google ads for a market that wasn't good for Google ads, simply because some course guru said use Google ads, but didn't know that this was not a good industry for it. And you show them that Facebook ads is way better, right? So different things like that, different stories in there, is how you can actually kind of tell a cohesive narrative. And one of my favorite themes and narrative arcs to use is either like an us versus them or a guide alongside type of thing. I'm a big fan of journey-based marketing storytelling, right? Especially when it comes to coaching and online courses, stuff like that, because usually these products are based around something that's going to be a journey, right? There's no real like end to it. I think that's where a lot of people kind of get courses wrong. It's not like, oh, I'm going to take this one course, know everything I need to know, and be done with it. It's like, no, like each course is kind of a gateway to a new thing and a new bit of growth or a new interest or whatever it might be. So this is all a journey, and you want your audience to opt into this journey with you, right? That's essentially what we're doing, is getting people to raise their hand and say, yeah, like I like the path that you're on, and I want to come on this too. Like you're my person. You're the person I want to follow. Like I know that you're a little bit ahead of me, and that's awesome, and I want to know what you know.